I've got the look that drives to go wild. I've got the move that really move 'em. I said chill, up and down there, fine. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday night, and this is Shoot from the Hip. To be part of the show, call 1-559-726-1300, access code 742021, and make sure you hit that pound key so we know you're in the room. Now, as always, I want to welcome my lovely co-host at this time, the lovely Miss Bernadette. Yes.
I do love Thursday nights. I'm so excited about this show, and I've got to tell you, pretty stoked.
As am I. All right, so first, let's get down right to business. Our special guest tonight is one of the fastest rising stars in Ontario today. He is the almighty. He is Will White, Bill Black, Danny Orlando. Let's hear it.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
What's going on, everyone?
Hey, Will. Thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. We love having you on here.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. Thanks very much for having me.
All right. So for my first question, I'm going to start off. I've noticed that you use a lot of psychology in your matches as Will White, Bill Black, like how you morph the character, and there's a lot of psychology to it. So who do you look for inspiration, maybe from past or present?
It's a character that it's continuing to develop. It kind of came, the whole idea and the premise behind it, it originated actually just kind of a drinking night with the boys, and they used to kind of call me Bill Black when I got in a certain mindset, and it kind of stuck with me. And then when the wrestling thing came around, I was kind of toying with ideas with something to kind of set myself apart, and I'd originally thought of something that I could remove from my tights, a target or something that I could put on like my opponent's head, and that idea kind of evolved into what if I can get tearaway tights, and we can do the whole Will White, Bill Black thing. So as far as the actual character itself, Will White is essentially it's very true to who I actually am. As a person, the values and things like that I actually try to kind of project when I'm wrestling with the fans and stuff. So Will White is very much so kind of me in real time. Bill Black, again, that the kind of the as you're saying, the kind of the psychological part and the development of that. It continues to evolve. I've been watching a lot of Dean Ambrose stuff currently because he does a pretty good job of kind of being a renegade and being a bit of a crazy man, and it's pretty convincing. So kind of taking little bits from him, a little bit of Bray Wyatt. He's a little bit darker, but of course I kind of take little bits of those two characters from mainstream today and kind of morph them into what my idea of Bill Black is. And again, there's a lot of times in the ring when I've done certain things and I just get a positive reaction. And it's one of those situations where I kind of make a mental note of I got to keep that. I got to kind of work on this and work on that. Like the laugh that I do and then kind of the swipe of the face down to a serious face. That was something I did once, and the fans loved it, so I thought, well, I'm keeping that, and that's kind of become a staple of the transition from Will White to Bill Black.
Very cool.
Even with the move set, it's in the beginning it was quite difficult because it's much more cerebral than I anticipated. Will White, you've noticed I do the front splashes. Bill Black, I do the back splashes. I try to really capture
and separate them.
Yeah, capture the difference in the characters, but of course it makes it a little more difficult because essentially I've got two entirely different move sets, one for Will White, one for Bill Black, and it can make the entertainment part and the planning part a little bit more challenging.
Very cool. Number one, that obviously takes a lot of work to be able to come up with two different completely move sets to try to differentiate, the two characters. But my actual question was, for those who haven't, been introduced to Will White, Bill Black, who trained you? Who shaped you as a wrestler?
The training, I was trained by Rob Fuego at Squared Circle in Toronto. They closed down about 6 months ago. I believe they are in a transition period, and they will be opening back up. But again, there was a lot of kind of secondary training by Jordan Marquez, who is a partner with Superkick, Ashley Six, towards the latter part of my training. And again, he's involved with Superkick as well. And then again, just a lot of my peers. I'm always asking for advice, always asking for feedback. Josh Alexander, Ethan Page, the Monster Mafia, probably one of the best tag teams in the Indies in North America.
We've actually had Ethan on our show here.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm continuously bouncing ideas off them. I've had the opportunity of working with both of them in the ring, Tyson Dukes. So it's having them at my disposal as a resource to bounce my ideas off of and to develop my in-ring skill. It's been instrumental.
Awesome. And I mean, and of course, every time you get into the ring, you learn from the next opponent too.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, after one and I'll say a third of a year of blackouts, what's the strangest thing a fan has ever asked you to sign?
I don't know if it's strange. I mean, a girl asked me to sign her breast once, and that was kind of, for a wrestling crowd, I thought it was a little bit strange. But thinking back, I'm like, you know what, is it really all that strange? Other than that, it's fairly standard stuff: signs, pictures, hats, T-shirts, things like that. That was the most unusual, just by virtue of the fact that it was completely out of the realm that I'm used to signing.
Right.
So.
Right, and now did you autograph that as Will White or Bill Black? Sorry, let me rephrase. Did you autograph it as Will White, Bill Black, or Danny Orlando? Is what I meant to say. It
was Will White, and that signature kind of captures both Will White and Bill Black.
Well, no, just because I know at certain events I could almost see it somewhere else.
That's right. And surprisingly, it wasn't at one of those Death Proof events.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Death Proof. I mean, come on, it's coming up too. So
that's right.
Anyway.
It is.
Well, speaking of Danny Orlando,
yes.
I have nothing but love for him. He's a genius, and my personal pick for life coach. Now, Danny Orlando is clearly completely different from Will White or Bill Black. How did he come about? Like, what was his inspiration?
That was actually kind of it stemmed from training. I went to Stitches when I was in training and got a whole bunch of like pink, gold, and silver tights and stuff. And I brought them into training one day, and we all just wore them. And it kind of stuck with me. And every time I go to training, I'd wear these pink tights with pink leg warmers. And Rob Fuego, he was the one that actually said to me, he said, you know what, you should kind of run with this and do a fitness gimmick. And it had been done mainstream before with Simon Dean, but there wasn't really anything the way that I was doing it in the Indies. And it provided me an opportunity to kind of be a heel, but not a terribly nasty heel. and not sell out to myself. And that was very important with the Will White character, only because I do hold the Will White character very true to myself. I didn't want to compromise that, and I didn't want to compromise or have anything kind of cross over into quote-unquote real life. So Danny Orlando kind of allowed me to do that and really let the kind of fun side out. You've seen Danny Orlando wrestle. I mean, certainly his in-ring ability is not the strong suit. I don't really have a lengthy moveset for Danny Orlando. I rely almost entirely on the entertainment and the interaction with the fans when I'm wrestling with Danny Orlando.
Right. Well, I think Rob has got a segment called Word Association for you, so I'm going to hand you to Rob.
Absolutely.
Hey, Will.
What's going on?
All right. So
do a little word association.
Yeah, just a little, give us a little what's up on some of these people and what your thoughts are on them and what have you.
Sounds good.
All right. So, I'm going to start off actually with Tyson Dukes.
If I can only use one word.
No. Just like a phrase or kind of a very quick story or something like that. Like what your thoughts are on what are your thoughts of Tyson Dukes? Just we'll put it that way.
He's a guru, and the guy is a magician. I'll call a spade a spade. I had an opportunity to wrestle Tyson back to back in the very early stages of my wrestling career, and
right.
I'm not sure that I was ready, but it was certainly very good for my confidence. And he's a gentleman. He really is. Could have very well said, "I'm not wrestling this guy. He's too green. He's gonna hurt me. Right. He's gonna hurt himself. What have you."
Right.
It was. I think he recognized the fact that I saw it as a tremendous opportunity, and I think he took it as an opportunity as well to kind of help me develop. And he's a guy that really does he recognizes where guys want to grow and develop as wrestlers and as entertainers. So, yeah, I mean, I call him a guru, and I've got nothing but the utmost respect for him. I actually just wrestled him again in Detroit this past Sunday, and we had a great match. So.
Nice.
I've got him again.
Well, I will say, so I was going to say that Tyson definitely does like to help train guys. I mean, and bring up younger talent, if you will.
Yeah,
he's all about that, and yeah, he's absolutely amazing. My next one for you is RJ City.
RJ City. Well, I'll give you his phrase. He puts the entertainment back in sports entertainment. He's another guy that I've had a few opportunities to wrestle him. He and I have fantastic chemistry in the ring. Our movesets, our styles, everything complements one another. He's everything about the guy, the way he moves in the ring, the way he interacts with fans, even the way he walks out to the ring. It exudes confidence, but it's that good kind of confidence that it doesn't cross that threshold of arrogance.
Right.
He very well is playing a character, and he does it exceptionally well.
Yes. And now the next one I have for you, speaking of Danny Orlando and Fit for Life, Hardcore Hick.
Hardcore Hick. I'll give you one word: excitement, because I'm really looking forward to working with him in Death Proof. He's a really, really nice guy. He's found a very unique character in Death Proof specifically, and we're going to roll with it, and we're going to have a ton of fun with it. That's one.
Trust me, the fans cannot wait.
I'm very excited. That's one of those things that's kind of refreshing my excitement in with the Danny Orlando character, because I don't wrestle as Danny Orlando nearly as often as I do Will White, Bill Black. Right. And I'm really looking forward to kind of seeing what the future holds for Hardcore Hick and Danny Orlando.
So are we. Trust me, the fans are stoked.
It's all about change.
Okay, I'm going to pull a Connie here. I'm going to let you finish, but I know we have at least one caller in the queue. So if anyone else wants to join the convo, they know the number to call, 559-726-1300. That access code again is 742021. Hit the pound key. Let us know you're in the room and that you got your question. So I'm going to let Rob finish his first impressions with you. It's word association here.
Okay, so little interlude, little housekeeping, whatever.
Yeah, it needs to be done.
Exactly. So the next one I have for you is George the Animal Steel.
George the Animal Steel. A legend.
Nice.
And, I'll leave it short and sweet with George the Animal Steel. He's a legend. He's one of those characters. He's kind of timeless.
Right.
There's a few wrestlers from his time. I mean, you mentioned everyone knows. Of course, everyone knows Hulk Hogan. Everyone knows the Ultimate Warrior. George the Animal Steel, he had that uniqueness about his character that even if people don't know his name, remember that guy that used to eat the turnbuckle? People remember him because he had a unique look and a very unique gimmick.
So, or the green tongue.
That's right. Yeah. So, definitely, I mean, he's a legend.
Yeah. No, I agree. Okay. Randy Savage.
One of the best of all time. I'll give him the legend status, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I just started watching a lot of older Randy Savage videos again, matches and stuff. And I mean, he was ahead of his time. He was incredible. And it's so unique. Just everything about him, the way he moved, the way his interviews, obviously the way he spoke, and I mean his actual voice, everything about him. Mm-hmm. He was unique and.
Oh, he was unique, all right.
very flashy, and at the time, I mean, when Savage was really kind of growing in the business, I mean, everything was larger than life, and he took it to the next level. It worked exceptionally well for him.
Agreed.
But, I mean, he had the total package.
All right, so I'm going to get to the callers. So I'll just get there, and, let's get to our first caller.
Sounds good.
All right, guys, we got a caller from the 918. Oklahoma's in the house.
Hey, Will, how's it going?
Not too bad, man. You?
Not too bad. I'm Andrew from Oklahoma, and I met you on Saturday. And I just, I'm new to the Indy, Ontario scene, and I want to know what I can expect from Danny Orlando when at Death Proof.
At Death Proof?
Mm-hmm.
Danny Orlando's going to do his best to get Hardcore Hick on the right path and kind of make a positive change for his life. And I don't know if we're going to be tagging up. We're going to want some tag team gold. And I mean, I'm not going to be done there. I'm coming. I want my Youngblood championship back. I want the Death Proof championship. Danny Orlando doesn't settle easy. So, I mean, it's all or nothing. And you can believe that Hick's going to be along for the ride. And it's all about positive change. So we're going to continue to dominate Death Proof. And certainly I've already talked to some people, and I want to see the second annual Danny Orlando Invitational. Last year I ran a gauntlet, but 45 minutes in the ring. I can't remember how many opponents, but I mean, I got my ass kicked and I kicked some ass, and I'm looking forward to doing something like that again because it was a real challenge physically for me outside of the entertainment aspect. I mean, that was a very, very challenging match on my body. I was gassed at the end of it, but it was a ton of fun. So hopefully we'll see another Danny Orlando Invitational, and we'll start racking up some more trophies at Death Proof.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to seeing you, and seeing you again is Will White this weekend. I love you, buddy.
Beauty. Appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, we had a really good time with RJ last week with this segment, so I'm going to hit you up with this. It's called Run to the Road. And RJ told us a fantastic story about how he met the Sheik. Now, I don't know if you've got a story like that, but we would really love to hear a very cool road story.
Very cool.
Yeah, just something random that might have happened. Maybe y'all broke down in like some ghost town and some crazy stuff happened. Whatever you want to tell us.
Yeah, I got one from Timmins, and anyone that was up in Timmins is probably putting their hand over their head right now and say, "Oh, please God, tell me he's not going to tell this story." And I'm not going to tell the full version of the story because I might disappear. But we traveled up to Timmins for a show. I was with Channing Decker, Jasmine, Lexi and Nicole, and is that it? I think it was just the four of us. And anyhow, we went to Timmins, which is a 7-8 hour drive, and the plan was to come back that night because I had my title match against Tyson Dukes in Whitby the next day. We went to Timmins. Plans changed. We ended up staying in Timmins and leaving 7 a.m.-ish. And, I mean, I had a little too much to drink that night. And we started our travels home. And I don't know if you're familiar with Timmins, but it's a ghost town in certain parts. And
yeah.
We passed the gas station thinking, you know, we're golden. And we hit empty. And we were on the brink of being kind of stranded. We hadn't passed the car in a good hour.
Oh, no.
No gas stations around, no cell phone reception. We had no clue where we were. We turned around because we saw an OPP sign, which is the provincial police in Ontario. So we were trying to find the police station and ask for assistance and find out where the nearest gas station was. And surely enough, when we kind of followed that route, we found, I think it was like a single restaurant, just randomly situated. There was a guy there and said, "Hey man, you got to help us out. We got to find the closest gas station." So he turned us around. We go the route that he's telling us, and we're like, "Oh man, he jammed us. There's no gas station here." And it was like out of a movie. We were hitting. I swear the car was. We'd been on empty for probably a good 40-45 minutes, and I was. And it did no cell phone reception, so I couldn't even call anyone to let them know. And we went down this hill into like a little valley, came up the hill, and as we got to the crest of the hill, there was a single gas station down at the bottom of the hill, and it was relief, but we were stressed to the max because we were all very new in our career. I mean, I had a title shot against Tyson Dukes, and I'm thinking, we're not going to make it back to Whitby. We're still in Timmins, and it was a stressful time. But fortunately, we made it back into Whitby. Like literally walked in the doors at call time, and it was like, get your gear back on, and we're going to do it again. So that was my first. That was a taste of indie wrestling. Like, this is indie wrestling, man. It's very little money. We're traveling and just kind of the grind. So, I mean, it's not too funny, not the sexiest story, but it comes to mind because it was. I got pretty fond memories of that too. Obviously, with Jasmine doing what she's doing, and Channing Decker and I, we started training together, and he's probably my closest friend in the wrestling world. So I got a ton of respect for him, and again, he's helped me develop a ton too, because the majority of my earlier matches were against him, and he and I we stay in contact all the time. We've kind of gone different paths as far as the promotions that we wrestle for go, but always keeping in touch with him. So it was one of those kind of fond memories that, I mean, I've got pictures of the road trip, and I always kind of go back to that, and so
I get it.
That'd be the one.
It's one of those things. No, I understand. And I mean, it's always great because you always have different people to fall back on and talk to.
Right.
Now, if I can just get you to do one more thing before we leave, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Who is your most recent opponent? Like, who are you facing this Saturday for Super Kick, which is, by the way, at the Great Hall here in Toronto, Ontario?
I'm not at Super Kick this Saturday.
You are not at Super Kick this Saturday.
No.
How are you not at Super Kick this Saturday? We thought you were.
No, that's something you should maybe ask them.
Oh. Okay, so where are you? So where are you wrestling next?
I'm June 14th in Oshawa at Eclipse. I'm defending the Eclipse Championship against Tyson Dukes.
Oh, okay. So you're on June 14th. You're on the Eclipse show before, and then you're coming right to Death Proof.
That's right. Yeah.
For Danny Orlando. Okay.
You got it.
Well then, I will let you make the choice. Can you do a promo on either of your opponents for that night?
Yeah, for sure. Let me.
Sorry, I know I put you on the spot.
Yeah, okay. Let's rock it. June 14th, Will White is returning to Oshawa, Ontario, my hometown, to defend the Eclipse Championship against one of the very best in the world, Tyson Dukes. Now, Tyson, we have stepped into... ignore that. Ignore the we, ignore him. There is no we. Dukes, I've stepped in the ring with you before. I've captured championships from you before. June 14th, Will White is walking in the Eclipse Championship, and Bill Black, ignore him. And Will White is walking out the Eclipse champion. See you June 14th. There you go.
All righty. Wow. That was great. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of last-minute housekeeping here. Where can people find you on social media? Because I know you're a social media butterfly.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It's funny because of the three social media kind of platforms, Twitter is the one that I use the least, and I should probably use the most. But my Instagram and Twitter handle are at @BBlackWrestling, so as in at Bill Black Wrestling, B Black Wrestling. And on Facebook, Will White, Bill Black, you can find me. And I believe they're all open profiles, so hit me up. And all I ask is just be respectful. I mean, if you don't like me as a person or don't like me as a wrestler, and you want to add me, just a lot of kids come onto my social media, so just be respectful of that, and no profanity, and just kind of go with the flow and appreciate what we all do as wrestlers, and appreciate that we're all kind of playing.
Learn to separate the person from the performer.
That's right, yeah.
Learn to separate the person from the performer. I dig that. Now I'm going to do a little housekeeping here. Where you can find us? Well, you can find us on Twitter at RWF Media. Rob is at Twitch80, and I am at Gemini Diva 75. Now, you can also join our groups. We got Facebook.com/groups RWF Media. We have a fantastic fan group. It's RWF. It's Facebook.com/groups, and then it's Revolution Wrestling Fans. And if you think you can cut a better promo than, Brock Lesnar, hell, if you think you're as good as Will White, Bill Black, whoever showed up there, you guys can join our Brawl group, and it's Facebook.com/groups RGW Brawl. Now, there are a bunch of other shows that we do under the RWF banner. I'm going to give Rob the opportunity to tell you all about that.
Thank you. All right. So on Monday nights, we've got Rampage with our own host, EL.CIBERNETICO. On Tuesdays, we have Face Off with T. Sean Jones. Every Thursday night, you can catch me and Bernie. And on Friday nights, we've got Revolution's Honors with Doug and Andrew. So that needs to happen. Tune into all those shows. So that's it for the show tonight. Thank you so much, Will. It's been a pleasure having you. Love hearing all the stories. And, yeah, just keep up the good work because you are amazing.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much for having me. It's always a slice. I'd be happy to do it again.